Yesunti.
Lawyer Chumberema. No, we are brutal.
Now, most say na radio day.
World Radio Day.
I see. Now, wouldn't me my radio kakradi.
Sir. Hey, now you may be a while bit.
Obi, you see what you.
Now 83 come to
I've been on radio before.
Okay.
I was first trained as radio reporter and a DJ.
Oh.
And that was in the year 2000. I think I was secondary school.
2000.
And I'm because and me more station B now Kumasi macro side.
Oh, okay.
And check Mona and me answer near friend I'm Mac FM.
I'm Mac FM.
Before number now station. Then time na Invisible FM, which is now Instra.
Now Instra, okay.
Na Invisible FM, no training ground one side. And then
I do be Invisible FM.
But the one Mr. to marketing.
Oh, you see.
And he another chi na fe medeba GPH tema. Even the moas I call
Gapuha.
Gapuha and Crass and call Star Assurance. I
mean, now son, I will join the police.
Police, the service some 2005 of go police. In team between time they ball back and forth.
Oh, okay.
Happy
World Radio Day. Very important.
Anyway, so I mean, let's congratulate more much. But I mean, it's one job. I remember those days,
FM 94.7.
I mean, Okoba, the way people see you in your community, you know those things,
yes.
So it's nice. Just that maybe I could answer that I know the money. Send the one chest they become. I could answer that
generally across the board.
Yes. And one came to my train to mobile. Anyway, so young more woman in no, Kakram Timcho more, especially the multimedia group. The likes of you or mine and the Biamin contract and pay up against the boom. Miamina events and Ambo.
Yes, Nasa
Ambo for J. Ekosiisen, another troublesome man. And we are coming here. ABY, I mean, all the other guys. To see the other platforms and so on, the Despite groups, and then Wakunyada Cabre, Neoma Kaso. The XYZ group, the Class Media group. In fact, my Class Media, which is Valentina, a birthday.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Mom,
yeah.
What's a birthday? And he honestly happy birthday in advance in Commando.
Sure.
The Casapa for no. I mean, all the Radio Gold, any other day. Radio Gold, yeah. I'm also on my hand. It's one station now. Ghana open one of the, I mean, almost all the top media guys now from.
Yeah.
The very pioneers, you know.
Yeah.
The Kamisifa Kinds, the Fifi Bansens, or no man, you know, Bakan, Bebre, and Alpha or Pia, woman, and they, so, yes, and woman, and they are moody Mude and Sunday, and I say, Mom United. Having said that, almost free Mononson, Mom Yako, the likes of my Sofu. He was one very funny man, and I'm a some power radio. Uti na the best as I went fanting into them, he always had the comic aspect of the thing, and money very lovely. And he honestly, I go for an currency. Because I'm not because you come where I didn't know something put on baby. Yeah, maybe I meet you on them, but it's an amoka. And so honestly, the Bushiana or the Mum Yako, Nanyang Ponson for the currency. And Nancy Honorable Collins down the birthday.
Sure.
He's one man that I really love so much. But the first thing you kind of chess and power. That's all company.
Or chess and also now.
Exactly. He has done well for the NDC. He has done well for his constituents. And now we are very. I mean, should I use the word affable? I mean, we will be on Senipum. Let me put in that simple terms. On Senipum, what I'm calling that, I mean, attracts everybody. Because I'm Ribina
FM 94.
That was I think President Mills' time. Now airport. Now the old VIP. I say my expanding. Oh, now terminal 2.
Yeah, terminal 2.
Good. Now me be I'm saying no. It doesn't know be show abuse. Be na we share KTM. na ketia mo kasa we see an boss na we say that na be opposition was opposition there yare also nyegma bia John kasa now you know how you put that in because na mu je twa ni ho so college na kasa no mu na for no sre
Asempa FM.
Aha. And I've never become business in. I say, you over here, you know, when a minister goes on leave, another cabinet minister must come and act. Yes, into over act as an energy minister, I crowd energy ministry, and then I used to be there with my boss. Now me would my eco leave. And he, man, and I saw you know. The father said, "If I can't go, so what do I want about my name? Can you come and we could be a Canadian documents in the mountains. So he's a very fine gentleman. I mean, those days, you know, now and this super the vibrant man and the enemy. Now you can never mark him out. To say, worshiper. I remember the guy named Bakono was the Kantinka. I was saying, a Casapa, because of be a Kantinka, and that's where the Bemmer Mupa. Aha. Never now, or man in Quatintin, Bible said, Nipa on Kwana, what didn't you? And see, Sabre would in our idea. Accra, and Kupon Shroud no more, what they are better say dinner. Obi. Yeah, I can't say in the Mzanaja, but you're busy now. Actually, at your phone, you're a force.
Omojo, so yeah, that's Papa lawyer, Chumberima, and Amotain and Kano. Member Honorable Daniel Ni Kwate Titus Glover Akwaba, honorably a part of the Tuesday team, Benedict. It was or joining on a Monday. Memorable Akwaba, there is a petition from Eric Ejay, who is a member of the NDC. Watro Eddie Akoma, Director General of the Criminal Investigations Department of the Ghana Police Service, was a petition for the immediate arrest and investigation of Honorable Akwesi Inti, former Fomena constituency chairman of the NPP. I'll read the details of this petition. Possibly, Yabashani and then also Eddie and Komobat. Honorable Akwaba, na apomu yedie.
Ozebuzu.
Me pabo fine.
Your affability, your delivery service, and your love for duty. It's unbelievable. Brasiano Crano, Emma Ubasho Nuswa. You want to come and add something. Because Obi ne kanasem or Stella but he want to achieve the purpose and I think say Sao Brasia no and Ube Kuichiri na yebo no mienu se ya na Ghana afana nyina na wiase nyina pese tie Asempa FM na yeti Asempa FM no de bia meka wo very much akwenya amudi amaye enye se sebe yi discussion ye de amaye ye ni mani broso debi ye boa amaye be kire ya dwen se dia ye be ma Asempa FM se na Ghana da makoma so no sanso ne da ye nyina yakoma so sanso ne da na ado akoma so ye be kikire oman no na ye hwe kwan ye famu a e be boa ye papa nti makana sa so
Asempa FM
producers na
94.7
Justin Chum Tacholetin ABY anyone kasa ye bomba baso na ye kan radio asemi de o si nya bi kakakra na radio asemi de se bi ka bi ne nyenne
Ampo, in fact, wait a moment, this is one of the radio first.
Oh, sir.
You see much
radio person,
top radio phones, not dear Groove FM. Ebrana, I do original. You started from Groove. That it was from no Osu.
Was I
okay. The forebearers of broadcasting who share Tomiana Force. He was my mentor, you know, the voice alone, radio nature or broadcaster. You love to stay glued to the radio.
94.7.
Mami Bakwi Mia Bofrano, she was a golfer, journalist, sports journalist. Maybe a finity, no Yajimo GBC. Now a golfer.
Okay.
Maybe a finity, producer be petty dinner. And also na me admire no papa and sana tomiana force ne you latte you know and all that na yebeka say radio has results radio broadcasting and kasa media no ne nyina so no wo hwe say wo pe impact effect bia edu echiri na ebi mususu edi media no sebe enfamboa they always the fans say work console nachi you have the command wo kasa no e was say we measured ye kasa ni bi ye work console nachi edu be bi emboa ebi mu use console nachi to settle personal scores which are not develop this country which is here and you work console nachi and who say
say Chairman Generality or say a friend Tina Moses.
Right? Tina Moses, yeah. Tina Moses, okay. Thank you.
Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman General. Tina Moses. Come. Tina Moses. Oh, man. And you share a contemporary no more. We share say
FM.
Nah, may you so rest in peace, Koblandubo. I mean, so fantastic. You know, a host of them. Now we should send your radio broadcasting and you do it because of technology. And Jamaica, I am more simple, but those days not technology is so deep. No, na maminka when I say yen use radio more for the unity and the development agenda of this country. My yanko you're too partisan. I mean politics, the times of politics are there. But when we want to look at nation building, kwa ye faswa ye chichiro maino chum anapenda mi bona baso. It's not like my other NDC friends that I know of. Minka we emanitri nyade. Or any pointer so forcefully. I mean, he making it so rigid, so would teach you without necessarily casting aspersions, insult. No, you are not helping. I'm on for tea bow. And your muti no mama yen can someone will make the media space so lovely. Mama yen oh, it's a gem.
94.7.
And do baby and not me so tense me tie no answer I'm stepping out. And he has a nice way to tease out. Wouldn't me hear some any Ghana cause o Fraduma where you are not about. Angle any strategy not the year. We for crowd best. And I like the way or no we know.
It may tell it will be down on yes, some
any CJ. Oh, and no problem now. Oh, yeah, who teaches but he's communicating. He's making the work of radio broadcasting so simple, so easy. I'm with Nigeria. You could say, until let's pay tribute to one young Gina Ghana. Now, we'll share, we'll come media pluralism. Now Umbado Danko Kufado Dia. Now you need free. Because the go with the days. Which I said media pluralism but Jinan and Aswana. He uses office as a practicing lawyer to for human rights. Not their day no. You making sure say the media space na yanyano. Embe Pecha Ghana na Jinan and Aswana. For me, make I say Yebebo Mabaso media. Ghana media space is so strong. Na as the third estate of the realm now. Fourth estate of the realm now. Making sure say you watch the back of government. I mean, critics is fantastic. Constructive criticisms. Say they are buying, but say they are say so that we can lift up the flag of Ghana.
Very well.
I'm so grateful for all the work you are doing.
Thank you. And let me say a big good evening also to Mr. Kojo Adey Mensah or MD Edema Data Bank. He's also listening to us. And you're the by Tina Moses. And Kojo Adey Mensah, you know, or a true sports fan, a Liverpool fan, and you know follow sports, papa. And Kojo Adey Mensah, good evening to you. I hope you're doing well. We say Obi. Please greet lawyer Chumberima for me, Richmond. Also, he's my course mate in Richmond or Standard Chartered Bank.
Oh, okay.
And your course visit.
Because we do. Easy.
We say Okay, Obi, have a condolence message to my brother and from another mother, Alhaji Abale, who lost his father, Alhaji Sabujuma, at Wenchi 2 weeks ago. Okay, he's doing the listening on the Riase FM. Lamprekin Rashid, aka Tema BMW. Inti Muamutie wo Wenchi Riase FM and a Royal FM. Yeda ase more Tamale Nsua and Tamale because this year World Radio Day commemoration no year commemorating the Ghana Independent Broadcasters Association or UNESCO aka abumwa omudi jumane ewo Tamale in Udu Tamale nso a your affiliate radio station or Kesmi FM 107.1 in Tamale fo nyina ye chiamo sonkomia madam for Isaac Entry or Bank of Ghana officer ewo Tamale. Good afternoon to you and thanks for doing the listening. Your discussion segment here the Ebremo ewo Ekosiisen so Seahorse engine oil eboyin Nova Plaster and a Franco trading enterprise. Omunyina so na saying and yede Bremen Samuel go up no so no Dawson. You would have heard say Enra Gabia Sayo trader kon some tweet against the former CJ Sophia Akufo. Made the news since yesterday, and it all dovetails into that bigger conversation around the domestic debt exchange program. And groups are calling for say a buying exempt one of such pensioners in our country, and these are pensioners from individual bond holders. Mind you, say a buying the kind are exempt pension funds that but there are pensioners and so on individual bond holders into omo de and omo pikete mobekaya somewhere last week. They were in the news, and later the former CJ joined this media reportage, Ekosiisen and all of that. You would also realize somewhere within last week the Attorney General letter Ekokoma, the Auditor General, now an advisory letter of a sort to the Auditor General, raising issues, be especially also all the points the AG raised, and share that may contentious. Apart from that point, a border on Section 23 of the Auditor General's Act, and on can say immediately after furnishing Parliament with the audit report, was or publish it. The AG thinks that provision should be read as a whole. Now, in isolation. We'll read, and then we have that conversation. When he's a lawyer, we're interested, but we'll have that conversation, a very interesting one. And the NDC had to issue a statement to counter in Samoa, and as advice, Attorney General Eric Kokoma, the Auditor General's Department. There are also calls, sir. Education Minister over the placement scandal. Maybe say he should be indicted by Ministry of Education. Issue statement say call no a bit absurd. The Office of the Special Prosecutor so Ensa Kenipa Naibi for failing to declare their sources of income. And I know you one law. Others also the Anti-Money Laundering Act now, and the powers are the state institutions now. That huge, was say upon reasonable suspicion. You say, "Master, when you scared too much, uzigani ensure then you who source na it may be true. It may true for you to come and show cause why you should not be prosecuted, especially when to me and share the source of your income." Of course. I mean, I agree. So I out there you should be able to show.
You should be able to justify.
No, but I think it's a long a bit belated because I think a man among far from who do you maybe want to do.
Me from the bank.
Yeah.
We have it's can be saying that one do I not even come and ask him some that's fine. As I cannot account for investment. So I mean people come after you or query you on things and so who was car na say maybe I mean I cannot say it on anyway but they in some meaning now say Adibia wo ye, you should be able to justify their own.
Yeah.
Obi.
Yeah.
It's much dear. Understand dear. What do you say? Understand dear. Indeed. So me am sika, and I say wow sika. Why I didn't want to tell me there when you is gonna be. But I did the crowd phone the crowd and so on at all. I want to tell you against phone.
But the interesting thing so they say because and America the broad nature of the Anti-Money Laundering Act, because you see ano say who acquire property be emphasize we sit down na when you are questioned they show salary awoje na in corresponding with the kind of a dine we see now you have questions to answer
and sense because be able to justify say and you be and see there salary no this what do you say e be na kwaji loan under the consider
sure
and now what on Japan I mean there are so many
and I say kwaji loan in so unim say one fundamental yin say kwaji loan paying back no it shouldn't go beyond a certain percentage of your salary
40% it shouldn't go beyond beyond 40%
yes.
of your salary monthly
if it is
say yeah na say said the you
will not spend beyond
I mean I remember 2004 not only in senior in police na upon constable we say the police will pay him and here na kwa you bosu me so me bank come ko and am say there was me dey ya just getting na money answer waji TV akwaji ya just getting na money answer to wrong go area so what just say money na mo say 40% cut by say now you know police service say I don't know say na Sunday but me service so who you so kwaji loan we bia sinya ho na kwaji bi si wa na waji say magia na bia enshow a obwa second one about wo de ko confirm say woni bibia waje da na the etin no emro 40%. So who within 40% now I what the third one but the second one by trust one. Yeah, be no approval. It's yes or man is go on say. Exactly. And have to
say better what source.
No, it do not say like for instance, I would Jeffrey Bank there, no, yet from source. Sure. And there was someone say who pay the bank.
And I'll pay better.
Exactly, so they will take it. But then you know, we have police service approval. And see, one year, Obi by doing my family as and pushing Crofoma at the end. So to be when I say, wouldn't be out with the coffee bush. I was exactly. So to what you want to know, be bad, and I'm me, yes, and I dare say I did 2 minutes here.
It's true.
What the 5 hours now because too by won't try.
It's true. And I think this move from the OSP, you know, because I don't make catch on mind here what I said. I don't think say the world over there is one institution or what the level of powers at the OSP of Ghana because if you look critically at the OSP Act now and now we share the power you have vested in the OSP it's crazy. I think say if he really wants to do a lot he can do a lot to help. Unfortunately, you know, what started he start maybe lawyer. It is already act now or the powers to prevent corruption and corruption related offences. Ebine the corruption risk reporter Obega Matinami do throw on the Japan deal no a preventive measure because already red flag no said the bear won't me enco. That's one of the powers of the special prosecutor or the power to investigate. Obetman investigating and into the office or investigators be brio and this is one power or no was shraj any or the power to prosecute corruption and corruption related because shraj can also investigate but they cannot prosecute good and one thing so more here with the OSP law abua to recover and manage assets related to corruption in the see a suspected why you be
Nigeria EFCC no they can take your assets.
Obetimi age ba omoji a unse first no sa Biden nsa to obi asset so a yetimi hwa amepro asset ni begu a obi anya no hwe yebekọ na apro but this time no omoji a they have to manage the asset as well e can OSP powers now absolutely on behalf of the state said the be property na ya the papa ya wasan kede bibi ne enkonko pro engu okwa which is really good.
I say Papa could police for be a dome cut now my police the history that we heard about that house was that Papa now say no so they are buying cows be I'm sure all this time I don't really know the story very well in man details but that's when you are buying a problem and I buy gin fee you know na buying the fee my police for
oh okay
the fee you know master was and which was good I'm very name police bottle
which is really good
and name if you don't the police for
Yeah. But also sometimes the challenge is sometimes they be as a property be a subject of litigation in court. And you have to protect it.
Oh, indeed, yes. I mean, if it is, yes. But then after judgment, and then you can proceed and do it.
But whilst it is there, I hear manson. Over any a giant parish.
Oh, I know
and a benefit of hindsight, because I remember in the your friend is saying Men's Gold in Seminole. If you listen to the backstory, how the properties are on mine season, later when they went back, almost everything was gone.
But one thing,
crafty law.
One thing also is that you see, people who try to engage themselves into criminal acts sometimes think faster than
the system.
The system. Into oya de no na do twu nia koye. Not the titles nia koye. Ubako no. I mean, on the face, yes, you are a chumudia. But to be very honest with you, what they get?
Yeah, but say, no, it's you go to Registrar General, sir, because of beneficial owners form. What's our fail the count? So there are things you can. Oh, na say a same quanon to registering a company. And come was to register. But if you don't fill that form, how do you register the company?
No question. You see, there's a difference between the whole kind of the nitty gritty. So we are in there. Understand another question. So what does it?
But we understand that you can face. But I know, sir, the Office of the Special Prosecutor with the investigative powers or more, and maybe one law the year Juma, the anti-money laundering law.
What we really have
there
to
will be
do
sanity
in Nigeria.
Yeah.
They don't really have one XP. One for other special institutions that can be prosecuted from special prosecutors.
Okay.
In general.
Okay.
So for instance, the EFCC. 1 year economic and financial development crime. Yes. One more to Achiwa. And you know, Nigeria new beer whether politician whatever. One it is one person who be an issue that as a institution body.
EFCC almost wrong.
I am telling you.
It's true.
Because one no senior one fan was we what you are bearing there, we see minute at you, no problem. Who they come after you. And one know that special powers they can also prosecute you where the need be. Which is good.
And one thing so I was say among phones who say we've grown with this mindset say about corruption there. A public sector and corruption in the way a private person now corrupt the OSP Emrano. I mean, they have the power to investigate also investigation and prosecution of cases of alleged corruption and corruption related offences under the Criminal Offences Act 1960 Act 29 involving 1. public officers, 2. politically exposed persons, 3. persons in the private sector involved in the commission of the offense.
That law now or not connected. The law doesn't know public officer.
Public officer or private officer. In the corruption in private sector.
But it's good that anyway. So we're not expanding by naming those institutions now.
Into that's for corruption and corruption related offense, and what even constitute corruption related offenses? No cry, baby. Into away OSP need your powers.
I mean, Nina say, you must say office no. Abano 1 atanasi number 1. Number 2, I can't be a woman here to work. Because you see, it's not about writing the law. You're trying to come go on. I say, yeah, man, the between the egg many what we represent Albert now, Ubana microphone here and found them off it.
It's true.
So what I say?
It's true.
So I need my baby to me exam national because my tenant do complain bitterly and left. And I know me, I on the way. Yeah, kissing you and I want to the and even made the statement that government is not ready to fight corruption. Or can it just recently? Nina boil it down to the fact that I mean, a Nima be as I wouldn't get answer say when you have a idea and you somehow writing the law. What Trump and name about implementation about when you have a man it's cost 90 when you say.
That's true.
What does you'll be here? It's not just him. Tomorrow he will not be there. Another person will come. But to be a better will be not say Yama officer and yet the way we want it to be. And she must. Yeah, because your body and the experience saying the way you say, but the point is that Malcolm Young be at the baby. what the other one to so much and numbers and Bobby and not Nabasunda. So the amount of young didn't yet money, yes, so minus the person for someone. Let us or the institution or the country give to them or the office
what they need. Yeah.
And my name, I mean, nobody to come back and say, I mean, are we really serious? What is it? Because the young person fight corruption, MPP can NDC cannot then institutions like the SC one. Whether the SP, whether the AG's office, whether the SRAD, whatever. Woman, I can't hear somebody money sippy and have more. Because it's when you give them. Not so when you like money, but and you also by yourself was a venture. So what I say. So if you don't want that, young dear man. That's the money you know, you know, for work. Cassandra was now Cassandra here be the amount.
Yeah, the amount. Why are you still talking?
Why is he complaining? So what I say, then we can dissect and trisect him. But here is the case. We are at fault by not giving him what or by not giving that office. Where the money him as a person in the office, no, I can't do our office in Benyan running efficiently. It be a man.
Yeah.
Or complaining, or bisa, or trying moba, or trying let us back, follow up and so on and so forth. Still, I quite watch be a mother. In the Emma. Then the church say when you are so opposite. What I say? So when you are so the woman be there and so Bible said you never not be hungry. But when you are in church when you are so opposite, we know to you. Now, Branton, but town so be a woman this woman Kobiano. Whatever they need, office Martin do buy even office premises can problem. Okay, it will be as soon as I command baby was I don't know, Mrs. Rage over abuse, and it was a baby. So what I say, he didn't have to chase for distance. And but for someone who you took one, so before you think of something, so now what's what doing the steps, the things required, and send what to sign the moon. And once you take that step, you must make sure that any man is are in place. Now my movements are very smooth. What can I come food must I go? And the fuel is the energy.
That's true.
Into another na candy and away here for the office. That is the energy that he needs or his office needs. Let's give to them. Let's give to that office. Now first one, you know here. And yeah,
the Ghana for one, so near catch. Mate, honorable.
Chuma Casabi, OSP Hono.
Yes.
And your Bible say, as a young man, that's. A Juma ida shen in seminal, or Beshasuna, why any kama. Na Yanina Yetanichi said, as an experienced lawyer, no, a Jumano, obey Manabroso. Na Chuma Casano, you see Matiamido is not an example to be used here. And to be better about Matiamidi, or about Matiamidi Dinkra, because I know for a fact to say. I buy your effort and na mano permanent office at every occasion. There are resources and
94.7.
Reach her baby. They went and could run a place. Yeah, refurbish and also have me on baby and also go baby. Let me tell you about it Japan on social media on Matiamidu on 3 different occasions. Baby are not buying a year not being so the man your office in Yano or Punina and Sana Bibia on the way. Yeah, call. Now we share supporter and Akufo-Addo buying Yediama Parliament, Yediama Auditor General, Yediama Shraj, and now the OSPR. It's unprecedented because institutions are fighting corruption. I know budget support. It's so fantastic, including the judiciary. I hear support them to make sure say a Juma Fata as before the normal like and to say Canino. Na yebeko so asere se dia odi si nenim no yebebo ano ama waye ne kama se bi obi wo woni me kwa mfa so a wonna ma na bonye jiga gbobuja bibi ofanse nya ne sigara nya obi enti ase and say act no man is our powers no a he has every right to invite you to come and justify their cosona there when you are in a way to sanitize our system na eba ne se na and young boys o mabekuru mu ano. The propensity for money is so fast. Obi very serious. And now we share young men are free. So when we're growing up, almost skill, the love and the passion was there. They be asem when me come. Every time we go Coventry. I was in Coventry, no Warwick University. At one time, I'm on fee. How much? 2 a.m. Now me gas heater. Now say all of a sudden. Now a crime me fast why they chi in that cold, even under the duvet. Chum. Me was so it took me 3 days. And send a gas mechanic. Me book one and send a baby fee. Or buy one do 30 minutes. About 150 quid. Would give you and all these economies, people with skill. And the Jim Quano in the General. And you know, don't go for TV and idea, but no, then you won't. And the idea, I was here so a skill development, yes, so many papa. And then Guanina, Obiana, or Pesca. Or Pesca, I mean, the rush and the crave for fast money, the propensity for fast money in this country. The idea was actually, and the OSP, the powers they do. I said, the other na on your fata. Said, yeah, on also be ding, Amadacho, say, lawyer Tacholete, Kisia Jabin, obey you, man, a sogana for any. On your way, man, or yet the ma Busiano film by and your phone a war, no, Bema no bana, the by Yasia, of course, school or quack academy, near my own school, or call when ne, or call law school or a lawyer pong, you best reno, you better niche.
Very well. Dr. Dakwa, Ewa, Washington, D.C. I say, Obi, could you or anyone school me on the difference in function, mandate, job description of the OSP, EOCO, BNI, CID, Defense Intelligence, Financial Crimes Unit of the Bank of Ghana, etc., in the fight against the age-old corruption? Dr. Dakwa, fortunately, in our act, they are all established by law. Into a more act they define it, or we normal find it. Maybe. But
police, CID, you know, CID, the investigative unit
wing of the Ghana Police Service.
Yes. And so every time they can hurry there is a police officer.
Uniform.
They just don't wear uniform. But will be a police officer. Okay? Yeah. And they do investigations for Ghana Police Service. Sure. And some now call report to police station. I also be treated you say the okay Esiampa, I don't see anything. The best segment no any those CID for no. We are. Then there's a prosecution unit of the police service. Who do the prosecution on behalf of the AG.
Of the AG.
It's one the end.
Yeah, that's for
the CID. As they have their acts, so they have to tell you
what they can do. And is there any BNI, National Intelligence Bureau.
And I said, I don't know.
NIB.
Bureau of National Investigation.
But name name change.
NIB.
Let's go back to the story. Earlier, American AG advised to the Auditor General.
Yeah.
Into where a letter AG throw on the 7th day of February 2023 to the Auditor General Accra, Ghana, Mr. Johnson Ekuamwa Asiedu, or say re-audit of public account of Ghana. And because Nameka said all the points the AG raised, it seems largely, a lot of people agreed. Maybe I contentious. And point number 4.
Okay.
Point number 4. Or say, I am mindful of the provision in Section 23 of Act 584, which seems to mandate a publication of the report as soon as they have been presented to the Speaker to be laid before Parliament. That's what the Act says. However, or say,
section
I'll read on the AG quoting from the section. I say, I am mindful of the provision in Section 23 of Act 584, which seems to mandate a publication of the report as soon as they have been presented to the Speaker to be laid before Parliament. In fact, okay, act news so shall. Very well. Or say, however, the laws governing the functions of the Auditor General ought to be construed as a whole. The constitutional duty of the Auditor General to submit his report to Parliament and Parliament's consequential obligation to debate and scrutinize same will be grossly prejudiced.
1875, 1876,
sure.
Right? Okay.
Will be grossly prejudiced by a prior publication of the report, the proceedings of the PAC provide an opportunity for irregularities raised by the Auditor General to be interrogated and queried. Persons and institutions affected by the report receive a further hearing on the findings of the Auditor General's report at the proceedings of the Public Account Committee in Parliament. A prior publication of the Auditor General's report completely undermines the purport and meaning of Article 187, 5 and 6 and should not be encouraged. Consequently, I advise a withdrawal of the report on the government COVID-19 transactions from your website before same has been debated by Parliament and considered by the appropriate committee of Parliament.
Right, that's fine.
And let me also read verbatim what that section in the Auditor General's Act, no.
First of all, before so we kind of say
Sure.
Good. So memoir kind no more kind the constitutional version now was citing 1875 and 6.
Yeah.
But you see, one thing that we need to make it clear here is that or no, I mean the AG should also understand that he doesn't have the capacity to interpret what the constitution says.
Sure. That's true. Same time, advice.
All Canada as a watch them running happening. He's not your bosom. What is it?
There should be a judicial decision on that.
Good. Officer will be one officer for Sabana ya enter yedia. Okay? According to the moon, number 2 was somebody was advice. I put you for a panefa.
Send it to
what the work and one for. Your home for the majority in terms of one for. African section 23 money.
Let me let me see if I would get it here.
Constitution you got it.
Constitution the crown. Oh, nice.
Madam,
nice.
Okay.
And
I mean, 187. Oh, they are already can't. Oh, the can't get just 23.
And maybe some kind 23.
I can 23. You know.
Yeah, and then we move from there now. Okay. Maybe I'll. Ekosiisen ne higher Sempa 94.7 FM. Let me see. Okay, my honorable in kind 187. Okay. 187
5 and 6.
5 and 6 near schedule.
5 let's see. The Auditor General shall within 6 months after the end of the immediately preceding financial year to which each of the accounts mentioned in clause 2 of this article relates, submit his report to Parliament and shall, in that report, draw attention to any irregularities in the account audited and to any other matter which, in his opinion, ought to be brought to the notice of Parliament.
Okay.
That's 5. 6. Parliament shall debate the report of the Auditor General and appoint, where necessary, in the public interest, a committee to deal with any matters arising from it.
Okay. And
who submitting my Parliament? A committee now is the PAC.
Yeah, the PAC.
Exactly.
So the PAC must finish their work and report to plenary.
Sure.
After plenary, then you have the chance to send it to
this is what the Constitution says. And now the act of the Auditor General so in the section 23 in the publication of reports. The Auditor General shall publish the report on the public account and the statement of foreign exchange receipt and payment of the Bank of Ghana as soon as the report have been presented to the Speaker to be laid before Parliament. And this is where the contention is. You say shall, and as soon as the report is presented to the Speaker.
Okay, so
yeah, where Auditor General
the moment you present to Speaker,
unpublish it.
But that's the end there. The fact that we have a Speaker, a committee of Parliament is going
to would have to look into Gordon. Your friend is saying Attorney General argument. Let's say when Park is seized with a reporter, Park and some amount for hearing, and there have been instances Auditor General reporting Becca say, but Nipan before Park, what me betray evidence and say, oh, I didn't Auditor General can then Nipan and his argument is that once you publish, now public ne discuss here, you prejudice Park citizens. Yeah.
In Alex 91 thereabouts.
Okay.
Now before an auditor would start his work in an institution, there's something they call pre-meeting of fair management, the managing director, the finance, the auditor, whatever.
Yes.
Now pre-meeting, it gives you the scope and the methodology or per se only in files are opening in there's something that they even write to you. So files in over money. Now so bar, then you open up the meeting. Say scope, say methodology, say. Now we are in the web, men or ye jumano nyano. Say bibinas on tiasia. Wo the finance director and finance manager, but the file with the document we or you baby. We and your way in they what they call the exit meetings or whatever. Now, sa all the means are about concluding minutes, queries are raising more opportunity
94.7
to respond to the query.
Okay.
So
yes,
and it's a woman coin na queries are word man not respond amount that you rush to produce a reporter. You have not been fair to the auditee. Audit now why and into now Parliament country will say, would the comma speaker no? And in Chester is the end of it. The fact that you have handed it to Parliament, the Speaker will refer to the Public Accounts Committee. Then the Public Accounts Committee will have to sit. No more share because you raise some irregularities. Some irregularities that we raise here, so yeah, the answers be brewana. See, I'm for answers and brewa. Say they are okay.
Yeah.
Now PSC afre ABA one company A. Yes, say. Because query now we raise here, and one man to coin money from the child. Then you rush.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, would you acquire thing? You're denigrating the pay. That is what the Attorney General was trying to avoid. Let us try to exhaust all. Your report. After a report now, we your report not because because irregular. Whether people are following the procedure. Say procedures here fossil. Not be a court here. You don't have a problem. Of course, auditing on certain criminality or certain nyama touch money at the idea and quite to forestall some of these irregularities. And it's a woman quite na ukwa bonting na ukaka say yes in Nikwate Apo Yeska. It will say, in this policy we do in this country. Ya judge by the time you are no near support. And the no and Attorney General is trying to avoid.
Yeah, but the question then is that we've had a convention over the years. Every Auditor General accord by the spirit and the letter of what the Act says. And in that same spirit, and after this special audit of COVID-19 funds, Auditor General published, and he published immediately after say or this speaker copy why should it be a problem now?
I think somebody must try the law in the Supreme Court for interpretation, both the 23 and the 187.
And 187.
Somebody needs to try the law
6.
for Supreme Court to give us an interpretation. Is it to say, would you come as speaker, then you should go to bed and start publishing? Or when it's given to speaker, he refers to appointment committee for them to do their work. Or then you also go public and do whatever you want to do. We need to try the law. They who say ampa sa area no gray area ne one mess between
that's true.
Some legal education
that's true. That's true. I think the Supreme Court will be the appropriate forum. Because you see say Auditor General going by on act anything wrong. The Constitution doesn't talk about publishing immediately after handing it over to the speaker. Constitution in Kasa. And Obi on also bear the argument from the Constitution say amount for a co before Park, because Park and so acquire some adjudicatory, quasi-adjudicatory body be of a sort. Almost me claim call for.
Of course.
So what the evidence not betraying, we are okay, go. You understand?
But one guy will say dependent Park. Not the evidence you got. Because I will say, identity auditor no audit firm no one ya butre evidence because I was friend me yes me way woman mre na se wan fan ba then you have every grounds to rush in your report final report but draft report we here every auditor we have 2 reports a draft report we raise queries ni na the amount and then management letters anambwa and the whole management will say we me here we na the then your final report will come out. Now when you're winning, because auditing and you're judging and ending now. Almost the amount private auditing firms.
Sure,
everyone got their cloud of political eyes. Judgment that they even on the back of Bonting, on the Akufado Abai. Say, we know these guys. And this is the bishop on a whole no deep money where we are going to know their machu for good goodness and that kind of thing. And the way we are trying to avoid and never baby side. Now, that's why auditing. Now we're query. That's the one my minister documents in Bro. Now I'm fan bad. Then you have every runs. You even capture it in your report. Me buana. So na me nya we wan fan ba. E me say me manual wan fan ba. And I mean report to call the say. But say nipa ne the amount and you refuse to capture to correct sadia no na would the cultural asano emboa.
Inti lawyer oye lawyer ni you have the constitution before you. Your kind act and so the provision as say akwa subject of contention no. Do you think say reading the constitution as a whole, looking at chapter 5, which is on fundamental human rights, you can't fair trial, or linking to the rules of natural justice, you have to listen to the other side any day. Do you think the time we publish this report, no, looking at any panel opportunity to appear before PAC?
Okay, so the person, even before I answer our question, let me quickly say something, sir. OSHA Article 187.7a, in the performance of his function, the Auditor General, the AC that shall not be subject to the direction
of the executive or any other person
or control. So let me just remain on the direction of any other person or authority. Mr. AG, your suggestion is a form of a direction. Why?
Or qualified with advice.
Oh, that's it. Advice is a suggestion that you're making to somebody. It's a form of a direction. It's a direction that you are giving. You're saying when you're subject to it, and you're about to let them come and go in the first place.
Okay.
That is my argument.
Okay.
Now, come to your question. Whether or not, say, fair hearing and so on and so forth has been given to, should I say, the corporate? So, I mean, those who are involved in those kind of misappropriations or whatever. Indeed, what the senior can't say, you know. At the first instance, no, the party, me office in the Bible, the team, the finance director, have been given a fair hearing at our initial hearing at that stage. What you can say? So, whom we be known to from our bedroom, and indeed, okay, audit report now. You will see paragraphs that they are telling you, say, they capture all those things in there. So, fair hearing, I want to hear Park the another public accounts committee. The should I say a second stage kind of advantage be a winner to go and further add more to or explain because the entire amount of say 187.6 and say Parliament shall debate the report of the Auditor General, that is what report on the and appoint where necessary. So which means that there are times that you can even send the report, but the Parliament may feel said there's not even the need to even appoint any committee.
Okay.
Okay, was it where necessary? Appoint a committee in the public interest, a committee to deal with any matter arising from it. So what are some of the matters that may be arising from it? Mm-hmm. 5 say the report draw Parliament attention to one any irregularity in the accounts audited. Let me give you an example. And on that same report here, you can watch paragraph 224. Okay, 223. I started with the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. Now, I say 224. I say the Ministry of Local Government. Sorry, 225 rather. The Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development in 2020 received a release of 15,505,600 Ghana cedis from the Ministry of Finance into its account to fund expenditure on COVID-19 response activities for the headquarters, 16 regional coordinating councils, 260 MMDAs, and its agencies. The headquarters, Accra, was allocated with 4,500,000 Ghana cedis to fund COVID-19 activities. Now, paragraph 226. We noted during examination of payment records that out of the 4.5 million, 4.5 million Ghana cedis allocated to the headquarters, payment totaling about 285 135,134 pesos were made for transactions which were not COVID related. Details are below. Okay, and okwanimwa means so what be the way business to take would be a kuka kwanimwa but be all queries and also question obisa obi ma obi beti them. For instance, there was one about Ministry of Finance trace kama company bi man tom withholding tax obisa right after that obisa no was another about say explanation of fundamental na entom asomo fi say wo hunni enti a wo dis kan matwum no dis kan matwum we we say otwum balance bi wa nti me the balance na manual and a tax in film. The Lord doesn't say that. Exactly. And so what anytime you make a besoti. But what the Ministry of Finance did, they say, what Tia guy in this first chunk in the man. Withholding tax in the court was over 1 million Ghana cedis obi. Yanteno. Okay? Want to know? Okay. Auditor General about the theory. A friend I walk at and say, Nancy can not ye piano baby in 2 folds. The tea first and I say, and just come on. Are you serious?
Say Nipano Ebia. It's kind of yet chairman no. Wouldn't look as I was able to holding task. Nasa Nipan's Obia, Bidikebi, and the Minas Candia Kutiaka. I was so true formal lady mouse say, Fa God bless you. Meant to me. But next tranche of payment, no. Now what?
God bless you.
And they don't cover.
Exactly. And to get a buy, and I said, okay, and was a couple of the document. Evidence. Now they are by a better. Okay, but there was nothing of that sort. Read the report. There was nothing of that sort. Then another argument at AG, and which I disagree with him. You see, and anyway, it wouldn't be bad if anybody should go for that interpretation. But on the face of it, Obi, article 9 can say, Oba publisher obra pack atena sewie tinio ama yetie nibakwa ne ho was for a second time because medical actually musa that was actually musa there's a first time here na nipa medical musa behind even before kwasa report of gather together e dia ba national no ye medical ti mo actually no ma actually my mom instances of that and the response ni be appear for your ba ya and woman so no whether or not so no me agenda so no me agenda actually. So now the Constitution doesn't tell you, say, you can only bring your report out only when PAC has sat down or where Parliament has made a reference to a committee. And that committee has sat on the matter and have said A, B, C, D before you can publish your report. Per the Act as you, read. Okay, well, see, the Auditor General shall publish the report of the public accounts and the statement of like foreign exchange, whatever. Okay, what my main unlimited as soon as the report has been presented to the speaker to be laid before Parliament. So Hanu, you're very clear of this constitution. So who did you see from there? And you're very clear of this because when Hanu and time on publication constitution and but Hanu breaking that say when you're the speaker no say men lay no routine publication is saying and non say what to that. And you're the moment the legal fico.
Use website.
I will be tell me your answer, but I'm just trying to limit it to the point to say publication simply means that what you able to
you share with the public. Mm-hmm.
And the moment you share, it becomes a public document. Every time they can have access to it. So what I say, and then now they now can say na ban sa na say we masa wuti krom ha and send be na ba Auditor General report of be but one carry that I don't know when kwa na beka bi. Ah? Sina Godfred, I don't know when kwa na beka bi.
Na say on can be that they no nche say won't
na masa duati ya that in that report be 1990 no ntibi Auditor General report afi ye ba o ye ni Fred ye me na me nya politics one ade na mani die tetem be na pese me hu mu say say park settings no ya na um transi ano ya na ye mani kapa say transi na wutin se mankrofo be tena waka sabani bo say be tafati ne nko school kura ni anim gwa kase na wutin so bu asem waka te be tafati nyanza nim it's not working. Aba pumune. I've heard one says nana mo na wotu. Why are you only limit yourself to only COVID report? Mr. Eji. There are several reports our deba. Auditor General deba. I don't know if the COVID didn't how. Do you know why? Because COVID near there more the one tansaka said na mama ba nyi. Now so enayi moto be na jasa wo boa. Ana maka bia kire wo. Monies were paid to institutions and one anya COVID ho adwuma bia. ne chase come on my current report natural zia. So that is why until how we say betobia because I go say na come by no but then go say it was come move say mo na makoya amanaba ye discount some of nya dwuma ye discount some from man ho bra mo se covid aba mo ho akere ho de bi si dan no but I've sat on several platforms that can say obi so wo kom maya ahodo bi e covid ba ye nyane mesi wa Ghana e bi ensi o obi ebi ensi o me say America wo taduane ye de bro wo fie no obi wo hye wo dem glass mu say na wo hwe ba ko no bonten ana table si AC ba bi say be a reception na wo duru wa de say pizza na de ba wo de asiso na hu se wo piafu wo garden mo say dan ati say bonten na ko na asa na wo so pia bonten akofa said mo nya bi ensi krom ha yet aban we say wotimi ne dia e covid wotimi enkoda e covid wotimi sore a e covid everything was attributed to covid. Now the same covid no and so na mo can you see everything has a two side, a positive and a negative. The negative part was that it affected several economies in the world. Many people we Italy, Brazil, America, we bro. I mean 100 million people. Is that what I say? Bebre ne wuye. Enti ade born about man we yede tom. But the positive side is way. Positive side ni bi ni say sika no ne nda so institutions ahodo IMF World Bank na de emma we sika sa fa sha wuduma die mu na fa kosa how na aba no. Which is sika no mu na de atwa. You are paying money to people who didn't even do COVID active and the COVID related activity. It's you know be ko de tena aba na ya de bo ja we say de tena de bo ja bo tunu fu yenye obutu. Yenye obutu. Onum de ade oye no I me de say wantu anka say watiam na bia so. Pay your letter. You couldn't say that he has violated everything in the law. So why from your advice? It's a medical man 1877 no 7A no. He will not be subject to any direction. Direction I demand no here.
Are you saying, sir, with your experience and your understanding of the Constitution and looking at the provisions in the Auditor General's Act, no, say Obi decides to go Supreme Court, for example, for a clear interpretation of this?
I have no issue with that. Many problem here, but media may understand and say, especially 1875. No, only say what tell us what report within 6 months.
Sure.
Within 6 months simply means maybe as we know, let's say December. Any time from January to June, obetini ako February, obetini ako March, obetini ako April, any time be within. Temu be obetini ako. But one tell say a break potting bang and also on non-publication
eba, yeah.
Then the act after that tell say, okay, well the publication between ba when what they must speak and speak equally.
Yeah,
but one more packaging.
But some can also argue say the act no. Against the Constitution, act near subsidiary law.
Exactly, I know.
If there is
addressing from the Constitution,
sure, but if there is any provision in the act, when you take the Constitution as a whole, act no provision be errane contrary to the spirit of the Constitution, a problem.
Good, but
and again, when you look at the spirit of the Constitution, the Constitution is very loud on fundamental human right, on fair trial, on, and mind you, say if there is any process, a breaching the rule of natural justice, any higher court can quash that process.
Is there anything that is breaching the rules of natural justice per the act of the Auditor General? And there is none.
The argument I get from Attorney General letter and say the stage, the parliamentary platform no creating. There have been instances people ebi mo akoho aka say omo anya kwan kra amfa ne we ama Auditor General and capture on the report mo and they present that before PAC and PAC clears them.
You see Obi, let us not use certain platforms to encourage wrongdoing.
Okay.
Why am I saying this? I am paid as a director of finance, Ministry of Energy, Ministry of Tourism, Ministry of Development.
Obi up a report be a
what I say? As Senior was saying, one more bad they prompt you. Yeah, baba. They prompt you say, baba, it's get A, B, C, D, E, F ready. We are coming to audit you. You are in the know. You are on notice. Was the one number and present the document? Na document now. Now we didn't now and now we're ready to go. I mean, what are you talking about? What I say? Secondly, what Baba Yagman is we are was saying, well, baby, and trust someone.
More fortunate.
Am you one?
Yeah.
So, nothing else is a no say. What you? If you are arguing for here, you are behead. You are put on notice.
But true.
Okay?
In practice, professionally, certainly I will kind of but what about few people who never had opportunity to present whatever responses they have to the queries, which has ended up in the final report? The whole
that's a query in the amount of time if I respond. If you don't respond, what will a certain right to be or the right to be heard?
Jamal men would call fair trial and fair hearing. You court the honey be wuzampa. As your mammy query and I made the response in the back and audit and mammy quaman respond. So be a why aggrieved no per se or litigating no quota. A honey be my example.
Sure.
And the man who I didn't tell us, I said, the auditor general be very perfect.
Oh, I mean, no, I agree with you.
Okay, all right. Man who I didn't say, the auditor general be is perfect. And you do not age in the person or guiding her. And I like the 777. He knows that he cannot be detected to. He cannot be directed as to the professional but all chumwa doing Edia Kosibi to say, Osrapa, anger where I'm kono. Opportunity and Grovonian point to respond finally. And sana, you capture report and no see your own man. Bonkase, would you know we are no menu? Cosune, would you? But so be a basse, query with the man no, Bicta ye, a woman some G. No one say, Sebis Canamendi, whether me quay documents make it anyway, now one man no quaya. Naturally, umbuano. And I must have Godfred person drink at their call.
This is so.
All right, so you see, if
I think so the Supreme Court should be called, like I said,
they
clarify the
law is not what we are reading.
Sure.
They say the law is what the judges says.
Yeah.
If you really want to understand
of the judge.
Exactly. So if you want to understand it to the nitty-gritty or to the core, test it by going to the Supreme Court for proper and better interpretation to whatever we are reading. Sure. But before, I mean, say no, my idea. From it. And then I say, you see, on that, let me also pick something from the mini penny. You see, if we argue on the line and on them, we say, oh, and when be any opportunity, okay. But the question is, how many of them have said we're going to get opportunity to tender in our reasons or the response to our queries? After this report, the answer is no, we've not heard anything of that sort as at now. Maybe somebody will say so because they have not gone to park. Public accounts in fair enough. But in the nutshell, no, let's rate it by 100%. If by 100%, then we have about, let's say, 10% of the people who were vetted or audited, saying, oh, we couldn't get opportunity. The majority got opportunity to do the needful.
Yeah.
They responded. And I would disagree with anybody who will come before the committee and come and tell the committee, say, oh, you have another document when you're ready. I don't buy those kind of arguments.
But say it possible, practically.
Oh, Obi, you see, having been in the public sector before, no, they can make or make anything. I understand the system very well and how they operate. But the main cases, Obi, one opportunity, no, yeah, by a catch number one. So you must be prepared before we come. Number two, you bury your baby money in the son, baby, and I am Tiasian, Yama, I'm out and Yaba. I know you never we are, there's all your way for Parliament. The next thing for to Joda. Simplicity. Until any court says anything contrary to this, very
well. Lawyer Chumbere Mani attending Ekosiisen. There are other topics I was saying. One of them, they are also with the domestic debt exchange program, and pensioners are now calling for exemption. And we saw over the weekend the former, the immediate past Chief Justice, her ladyship, Justice Sophia Akufo, enti ono nso ekokutro ne support behind pensioners na pickety at the finance ministry. No nya kwan ni media ne kasa kan sem bebre. After this short break, ye be this ankomo no. Stay with us.